Hello and welcome to a historic day 31. It's the end, it's month one of MP Strong 365. I'm gonna shed my house slippers here, but it's cold out here. Literally, someone at Publix wished me good luck when I exited the store. People here are not used to the cold. And I did quip to my neighbor that I might just, run around outside naked in the middle of the night when it's 27 degrees just to feel something, because I'm just sick like that. If you know me, I do things like that. But I did actually stick to my habit of finishing my run outside of the gym, and I was wet because it's sweaty, and then it was very cold, 35, felt like 30. The wind was like that winter cyclone. So in any case, I was very cold, got home, showered, died for a little while, and now we're back to life. So what do I do now, right? You're completely just pooped out. It's a Saturday. You're like, what should I do? And what is this for anyway? What does this foam roller do? It seems like it's more trouble than it's worth half the time to roll on. I see some people rolling on it. The problem with the foam roll is that you have to contract muscles in order to roll the muscles, so it seems to be at cross purposes, right? It's supposed to be releasing things, but you're tensing up trying to do it. So let's try to make some strategy around this foam roll. So I've got a little band you can use too. The point here is we want to add tension to your stretching in the right places and use breath in a way. So I'm going to be breathing throughout some of these exercises. This is a long foam roll. It's just, nice and foamy and squishy. There's also, we used to have names for them. This is the Demolisher. This one is much heavier. It's 3 times as heavy, and it's got these ridges in it. And this I would recommend for tissue in the back and then tissue in the calves. I would recommend using this one as a little bit of a gentler start if you don't want to kind of poke into and trigger point your tissue. So sometimes this one feels yummy for breaking up the glacier, but it can be a lot. So I'm gonna stick with the soft guy because we're gonna use it on the thighs, and we're going to roll the thighs as we do a little bit of abs, okay? So, got my thingy on, and all you need to do is get into a tabletop first to start, and then you will place it sort of on the middle of the thigh meat there, and then immediately start to kind of draw up with the glutes, okay? So I'm in sort of a push-up position, my whole weight isn't on the foam roller. I'm in kind of a knees push-up position, so I could do, little push-ups from here if the foam roller weren't in my way. So I've got this thing on my glutes. I'm gonna travel it down to where I feel it sort of on my mid quads, right where I feel oh, that's pushing down on something. And then I'm gonna take it down to my forearms. Okay, I'm gonna walk it out just like the little army walks until I feel oh, that's really something. And then I'm gonna hold here and breathe, pressing the elbows down and then trying to drag the tailbone underneath me a little bit as I go onto the lower part of the quads. So breathing. I like this style of breath I just learned or got reintroduced to, which is breathe in through the nose like you're sniffing fresh bread. And then, I don't know why fresh bread, because I don't even eat bread. And then exhale like you're fogging windows. And I'm going to roll a little bit more onto the top of the quads, letting the toes curl underneath me. And then down to the bottom of the quads, digging your elbows in, dragging your tailbone underneath you. You should feel the bottom abs contract. We'll do a couple more times here. I'm going to try to take the shoulders down away from the ears. pushing the elbows and the shoulders as I come towards my knees with that foam roller. Groovy. I'll do a couple more times and then I'm just gonna wobble off side to side. I'm flat-footed when I'm towards the bottom of the knees and the bottom abs are engaged. The elbows are dug in. Try to press the shoulders away from the ears and then come back onto the balls of the feet, toes curl underneath. You can relax here. And then the more heavy part is when you come towards the knees, abs are contracted, pulling the tailbone in and release. So I'm gonna roll this side to side now. So keep your weight on your forearms. Again, this is like doing a tiny little plank, right? So I'm just gonna wobble side to side a little bit, taking it bent leg onto one quad and then the other quad. And still keeping the stomach muscles engaged here. So this is like a 30% of a plank. So I'm just dragging it side to side, getting my spine rotating as well. You don't have to be rigid on it. Think about kind of wriggling out of something. So as you roll side to side, you can cross your legs over. You will feel the IT band or the side part of your quad. There's a big tendon that goes from your kneecap up to your hip. And this is nice to help roll that sucker out. You can reposition yourself so that you're on one hand and one forearm and stay on the side of one leg, okay? So we're on one forearm like a modified side plank, and we're gonna roll into that side of the leg, just up and down the IT band with the leg bent. The other leg is on the floor. It can be kind of foot down, just sort of supporting that roll out. Breathing in as you approach your glute on this stretch. And then rolling down, and use the pressure in your hands liberally and the pressure in your leg that's not on the foam roller to help offset the pressure on the leg that is getting squished. Then I'm gonna roll all the way around to the hamstring on the right leg. So I'm gonna take it almost down to my butt, but I'm gonna keep my hands now planted on the floor. This is like doing little dips, okay? So like you're doing little dips, do a couple dips here, and then just get it rolling on the hamstring. So foam rolling is relatively advanced in terms of you gotta be kind of wriggly already and mobile enough to move yourself around the floor. So it's definitely an active warm-up. This is also called self-myofascial release, SMR. And there are mixed opinions about it. I think everything is good for something, except for like, you know, egregious amounts of food and no exercise. That's probably not good for much in the long term. So I'm rolling all around this leg on the inside of the leg too. I'm turning my foot in on the right leg. And the hands and wrists, you can take them onto your fists so that you get a little bit of just a break from being on the bent wrists. Roll onto the inside of the leg. That's the inner thighs. And the resting leg is still just assisting, kind of dragging you up and down the foam roller. Your arms have to do some work here. A couple more reps here. And then we're going to take it down to the calf. So down to the calves, and I'm going to wrap my left ankle on top of my right thigh, just crissy-crossy, and just let it go side to side. And I'm making those nice spaces because sometimes the calves are very, very tight for some people. I just ran, so they're a little bit more on the sensitive side. So go at your own pace, and you want to roll around the muscle. So all over the outside and inside of that tissue. You can take it on the high part of the calf. The calf part towards the back of the knee can sometimes cause some patella issues, because if it stays too tight, then your kneecap is always pushed forward. And when your kneecap is always pushed forward, if you're like, what is a patella? Thank you for explaining that. Sorry. Patella is a long, flat tendon When people say my knee is bothering me and they do this, that's patella. So the patella is the tendon that attaches the lower leg muscles to the upper leg muscles, basically. So when you get itis, that's inflammation. So tendonitis is the inflammation of a tendon, and the patella is just right up here on top of the kneecap. So using a foam roller or a ball or even squeezing a towel like deep underneath that knee can help release the patella. Next exercise, and we're going to do this all on the other side. I am going into leg extensions, coming down onto your forearms to give yourself a little bit of a break, okay? So I'm down on my forearms. I need to change this situation up. All right, so I'm down on the forearms and my knee starts bent on the foam roller and the other foot is resting on top. Really stylish position, right? I'm gonna prop myself up so I'm active and I'm not slumping down. I'm active in this position. My shoulder blades are drawn together, and then I can work on relaxing that hinge in the knee, and you actually get a nice little pressure in that leg right through the calf where the kneecap is. My foot is relaxed at this juncture, and the other arch of the foot is conveniently kind of cradling the foam roll. I'm hearing my patella kind of do a little bit of a Rice Krispie treat just because this is great for tracking it again. The kneecaps go all number of places. They rotate too far in, too far out. They get too far forward. The knee is just a sad little victim of all of the muscles around it, not doing what it's supposed to do. And that happens to everybody. Me, for sure. So now I'm going to take this foot up and finish this exercise off by flexing that right foot and pointing the toes. Flex hard and point. I'm going to rewrite my posture here and point and flex. And when you point those toes, you want to cup your arch a little bit and think about dragging like a little quarter right where the inside of your ankle is. So when you flex, you're going to drag up into the shin right by the kneecap, pulling up and pressing down through the inside of the ankle. A couple more times. All right, groovy. So we're going to do this on the other side. Anything you do, like if you do it for 5 minutes and you do it every day, then yes, it will make a difference. If you do it for 2 minutes and you do it once a week, like maybe it'll last for like an hour. So this is taking about 20 minutes, right? So you could do these exercises while you watch television. You can do them while you're having a conversation. Make it socially acceptable to sit on the floor together and have a chat while you're foam rolling. My family is used to it. Most people are not. But if you ask, like, hey, do you mind if I stretch while we chat or talk on the phone with a friend or whatever, FaceTime? These are all available activities while you're doing stretching like this. So with the foam roll now, I'm going to do a delicious, like gratuitous, just roll of the spine, grab your head with the back of your hands. And this, you'll use your hamstrings. So my feet are dug in and my hamstrings, the back of my legs, are dragging me up and down this foam roll. And maybe I reposition a little bit just so I can get down to the end. Like, again, I think I've done this one before where it's like people are like, I'm going to break in half when I do this. So take it at your own pace, obviously. And you can drop your butt on the floor and just drag it instead of having it in the air. Feel the differences. Really do keep your heels down though. And you can kind of walk your heels out and in a little bit. And just see where you can get some leverage to push yourself in and out of that foam roll. I'm going to do a couple big ones here. Oh boy. And I'm going to end in a spot on the foam roll. Now I'm flattening out my feet and still dragging in through the hamstrings. I'm going to end on a spot on the foam roll where I feel like the very back, like where my tailbone ends and those back of the hip bones are, is just very like wedging like a little point down into the floor. So then I take my heels out a little bit and I'm gonna relax my head and neck. Okay, and I'm gonna try to pull that very backmost part of the pelvis down into the floor. You can think of it as your lower spine as well. And I'm gonna inhale through the head and the neck and the throat and try to get some length through that neck. Part of the reason the head is so far forwards is because the hip flexors are so buried. They are just buried in there. So I'm trying to roll the hip flexors to be a little bit more open, and that helps get my head and neck position corrected as well. So keep the foam roller between your shoulder blades now, and keep the back of your pelvis or your very, very lowest part of your back against the floor, and find a wedged in spot. So I'm gonna just crunch a little bit and down a little bit. Crunch a little bit and down a little bit. Keep your jaw relaxed. Keep your tongue away from your mouth. What? Keep your tongue not pressed against the roof of your mouth. Hey, man. Yes, working out does make you dumb, just so you know. Like, it makes you smart to a point, and then you're like, oh, golly. Yeah. Few big inhales here. Opening the throat as your elbows come back. Feel that full closure of the ribs and stomach as you come forward, and a stretch in your spine. I'm going to take the last one all the way up, like I'm trying to get my head through my legs. My back is pressed, and then I'll just finish it with a like a little bit of a sit up. Oh, that was hard. I was like deep into it, man. All right. So now we're going to take it to the other side. Be about 25 minutes. And we can chat while I'm doing it. I'll repeat with a little bit of gusto the plank, oh my gosh, on the foam roller. Okay, so plank on your forearms. And I'm gonna start now with the foam roller on my shins. And then, yes, so this is a real live plank. You can skip this one or do it on your knees, whatever works for you. So I'm gonna wobble my knees around in this plank, toes are pointed. Again, if this is too much for you, put your shins back down, drag your shoulders away from your ears. And I'm gonna tuck down to the ankles and release up to mid-shin. Just keeping your knees off the floor and drawing that straight line in and out. Dragging your shoulders down. Your nose is directly over the tops of your thumbs. Suck air in through a straw for 3. S it out for 2. Good stuff. All right, that was fun. So instead of my quad straight up one, I just did that instead. So, okay, let's come onto the side of the leg, and we'll come down onto our forearm, and just start moving up and down. Ooh, that's nice. Neck kind of released a little bit. Because the whole part of the reason the head, neck, and shoulders hold us up all the time is because, like, down here ain't holding us. So if you're, maneuvering yourself using your shoulders, or running or walking, and you don't know it, I don't know it, but I'm kind of bracing up here, especially when it's cold outside, right? You just kind of like, tuck up here. So this stuff for releasing the hips so that they can become stronger, and this stuff for releasing the leg muscles so the abs have a chance to turn on, really renders a great sort of side effect of releasing the head and neck. It has more permanency than just kind of like stretching the neck by itself. I played on a Bosu earlier. I'm still rolling the side of the leg. Still rolling. Oh gosh, it's hard. It doesn't feel awesome. It takes breathing and sometimes distraction. So I played on a Bosu because I don't have a Bosu at home yet. So sometimes, like, you'll see these workouts on the wall, things like that, right? You just need a toy, just one toy to start with, and then you just build your workout around it. So I put my feet on the Bosu, my hands on the floor, and I did a number of things there. And then I jumped up and down on a Bosu, like literally on top of the Bosu. And then, all right, I'm gonna go higher. I'm disappearing. Up to, so where I'm at now on the top of the roller is this like rectus femoris. So it's like the very topmost quad muscle. It's like this bulb that does all the work when your glutes aren't working. It's like right around here. So I'm gonna just move around that rectus femoris, that top part of the quad, and just do a couple things there. If you feel like your hip bone is like out, kind of like it's sort of, you can squeeze your inner thighs a little bit and just sort of try to drag the bottom leg up to meet the top leg. And I'm doing my left leg right now. So that would be my left inner thigh, just sort of sneaking up just a little bit to sort of get that hip bone back up towards middle. Yes. Jumped on the Bosu, and then did like kind of heavy, not heavy, like 60-pound just barbell, but instead, since it was only half my body weight, I did it with like deep squat and like with kind of an explosion on the way up. So really trying to get the hip area to get some major blood flow, and then went back to the Bosu and jumped around again. Like squat jumps, but you end like you jump onto the Bosu. It's fun. It's kind of like a safe way to do a squat jump. I'm on my hamstring. And some parts of your body might feel more sensational, let's say, than others. My left hamstring never feels that sensational because it's underactive. So I'm going to just wobble around that inner thigh and hamstring a few times. And you can stay on the hamstring if that's your jam right now. I'm going to go down to the calf and cross the right ankle over the left leg, rolling around the tissue. If you've ever had an acute injury, like actually something like hit you, or you got into a ski accident or a car accident or a soccer incident or whatever it is, the muscle is never the same. Like the body will never be the same from that. I popped the tendon in my left foot, and that kind of like messed up the, relationship with the foot and the rest of the leg for a long time. And then I dropped like a lot of weight, probably like 100 pounds on my left knee because I am an idiot. And it was very embarrassing because I was with a class. I just didn't see an object behind me. I was carrying like a flat bar, like walking it back, and I just did not see this thing because it was my gym, or like that's an excuse. But yeah, didn't see it, tripped, fell on me. It was awesome. So that muscle like died. Like literally like my left kneecap muscle just died. My vastus medialis, just bye-bye. So that was another one that happened. The muscle's never the same after that. It doesn't matter. Like you can still use the stuff. It might just look a little funky, and you just have to know, like if I know that muscle is always going to be weird and this area is always going to be weird, then this leg is always going to need like a little bit more loosening around here because it's going to lock up, and a little bit more strengthening of like the glute max and the hamstring. So, you know, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. All right. We're going to go on to the leg extensions on this left leg, and then we'll probably call it a day. And we are done with our little journey. So I'm going to the back of the knee. I'm going to drop down onto my forearms. I do like doing the ab exercise, like the planks on the foam roller though. And tomorrow I'm pre-committing to doing a magnificent planky Sunday. A little like a plank bar style with some more core integrated. Now I'm all woken up. That cold, like running in the cold, knocked me out, man. I was just thinking, I was like, if there is no hot water in my shower right now, that would be like the most devastating thing in my life. Like, what a problem to have, right? Like, how blessed are we? Like, but there was hot water and it was great. And there was a dead lizard in my shower. Sorry, that's graphic, but it was just kind of surprising. It wasn't a small one either. It was like half the size of my foot. I thought he was alive, and I was like, okay. I literally told him, I was like, okay, I guess it's okay that you're in here. But then maybe I drowned him. I don't really know if he was alive or not before I got in the shower. Right your posture. Press your chest open a little bit. Dig your elbows into the floor a little bit. Keep those leg extensions going on the calf for that little patella tracking. Couple more. And we'll go ahead and cap this off. I hope you got a lot out of that foam roller experience. I can spend all day here. You can use this as your chair too, you know. It is a handy dandy trick once you know how to navigate it. Don't stay settled any one place too long. Roll around the tissue this way, roll along the tissue this way, and get brave with your spine. If you're looking for a nice place to like check your Instagram feed, if you're into that sort of thing, then just lay on your back on the foam roller like such, with your neck and head resting. You can do this for maybe like 10, 12 minutes, and you can have a little nice, you know, neck release too. And then I wouldn't spend longer than about 10 minutes here. And then you want to flip it over. And if you want to do the rest of your time, you could do it like right on the pelvis, like right on the stomach. And I gotta move back. Right on the stomach. And you can have your phone here. And this way you can have like a nice little kind of intestinal blood flow situation going, and do a little bit of that hamstring curl and just diddle around. Diddle around. Cool. All right. See you tomorrow. Plank time, baby. Bye.